Why is it so hard to ask for help, even when you really need it? What if the support you need is there, but you're not asking for it? Who are you really honest with right now? What would it look like to stop doing this all on your own? If you've been telling everyone I'm fine while silently feeling overwhelmed, isolated, or like you have to carry it all, I get it. And this episode is for you. Today we're talking about how to ask for the help you actually need, build simple, consistent support into your days, and let go of the pressure to do everything by yourself. You don't have to do this alone, and you were never meant to. If this episode is triggering for you and you feel you need additional help to process your thoughts or feelings, please call or text the Postpartum Support International Hotline at 1-800-944-4773 or visit them online at postpartum.net. Do you want practical steps to rein in the overwhelm and start feeling like yourself again, but struggle with feeling hopeless, unsupported, and misunderstood? If so, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Stephanie, wife, mom of 4, and a 2-time acute postpartum depression survivor. I learned the secrets of how to overcome the feeling of drowning and fully thrive as a new mom through life-giving hope and support. If you're ready for validation, encouragement, and those easy practical tips, then take a deep breath in, exhale, and we'll take the first steps together. Here we go. Did you know that I have a free community of mamas just like you? New moms who are struggling just to survive, much less thrive, and are looking for hope, encouragement, and validation. We share life together. There's a short weekly devotion, encouraging quotes, and so much more. There's even chances to win free coffee and prizes. Come join us. The link is in the show notes. An interesting piece of parenting advice I heard once was instead of telling your kids not to spill something and making it a negative, turn it into a positive statement by reminding them to keep it in the cup. I have found that this actually does work with toddlers, and perhaps I should have tried something similar the first time my mother-in-law visited after my oldest was born. Now, I would like to preface this story by saying that my mother-in-law is amazing, and today we have a fantastic relationship. She's literally like my second mom, and this story doesn't paint her in the most positive light. I'm probably going to get in trouble for it, but I promise that I will always be 100% real with you, so here goes nothing. That's my full disclosure. I love you, mother-in-law. My in-laws arrived in Asia to stay with us and meet and help us with Hadley about 3 weeks after she was born. So right after I was officially diagnosed with PPD, and the only thing that helped me was constantly holding the baby. But they slept in Hadley's room, our only spare room, and insisted on helping take care of her throughout the night so that we could get some much-needed sleep. I didn't know at the time how to tell them no, so I caved. And it was hard to sneak in and hold her during my sleepless nights without waking them up, but I somehow managed. Adam had informed them before they arrived that I was experiencing some postpartum depression and that the one thing that was really upsetting to me was my inability to breastfeed. At the time, we didn't realize I was incapable of making breast milk since that's not a problem that affects much of the population. He asked her to please give the few drops I collected each day to Hadley with her evening bottle before feeding her formula, and not to say a word about it because it would trigger me. Well, not long after being warned, my mother-in-law, bless her heart, didn't think before she spoke, and the very first night she was there, she picked up the bottle filled with my precious few drops of breast milk and said out loud in front of God and everybody, "That's it? What's the point?" I died inside. Every fear I had in that moment came true. Hadley deserved a better mom, Adam deserved a better wife, and the world would be better off without me. I immediately got up and went to my room to bawl my eyes out, and the damage was done. That night ended in me spiraling badly, and a literal miracle saving my life, but more on that in another episode. The point being, sometimes even when you specifically ask for help, you might not get what you had hoped, and well-meaning people, even those closest to us, can sometimes cause the most damage, so proceed with caution. Today, I want to talk to you about 4 simple ways to feel supported when you are struggling with postpartum depression. 1 is ask for specific help, instead of just saying, "I'm fine." One of the most common things new moms say almost automatically is, "I'm okay," or "I'm fine," even when they're overwhelmed. Why do we do that? Even when they're exhausted, even when they're barely holding it together. Sometimes it's because we don't want to burden others. Sometimes it's because we don't even know what we need, and sometimes it's just habit. But here's the challenge. The people around you often want to help. They just don't know how. When we give vague answers, we often get little or no support in return, not because people don't care, but because they don't have direction. For example, someone texts, "Let me know if you need anything," and you respond, "I'm good, thank you." I am so guilty of this on both ends. But inside, you're thinking, "I haven't slept, the house was out of control, and I just need a break." Or maybe you're like I mentioned, where emotionally you need to hold the baby to feel safe, but everything else is piling up around you. So instead of saying, "I need help," it becomes, "The dishes and laundry are out of control." That gives people something tangible to step into. Start by naming one clear, specific need. Maybe it's, "Can you hold the baby while I take a 30-minute nap?" "Could you drop off a meal this week?" "Would you mind running a quick errand for me?" I personally am not the best housekeeper, so it was really hard for me to say, "Can you come do my dishes?" or "Can you come do my laundry?" But anything they could do outside of the house for me truly helped. And for my best friends, they were invited into my mess and my stress, but they held her in my room while I was sleeping. You don't have to solve everything. Just identify one thing that would make today easier. Also, create a simple help list ahead of time. This is especially helpful. Things such as meals, laundry, grocery runs, holding the baby, cleaning up common areas. Think about yourself and what you're comfortable with and go ahead and make that list ahead of time. That way, when someone says, "How can I help?" you don't have to think, you can just share. You can even send them the whole bulleted list. Talk to someone who gets it. Postpartum can feel incredibly isolating, even when you're surrounded by people. You might be home all day with your baby, but still feel alone in your thoughts, or disconnected from others, or like no one fully understands what you're going through. And isolation has a way of making everything feel heavier. Thoughts get louder, feelings get bigger, and shame starts to creep in. But here's the truth. Talking about what you're experiencing is one of the most powerful ways to lighten the load. You might be thinking, "Why am I struggling like this? Other moms seem to handle this better." But then you talk to the right person and they say, "Oh, I felt that way too. You're not alone in this." And suddenly that weight lifts, even just a little. But the key here is the right person. Not everyone will respond in a helpful way. Some people may unintentionally dismiss your feelings with things like, "That's just part of being a mom. It'll pass. Don't worry." That's why it's so important to find people who feel safe, validating, and supportive. Identify 1 to 2 safe people. A friend who listens without judgment, maybe your partner, maybe your mom or a trusted family member, a therapist, or a support group with other moms. Then make it consistent. Schedule a 10-minute weekly call, a daily or ongoing text thread, or a quick voice note check-in. My favorite was a text with my best friend. It doesn't have to be long, it just has to be regular. Consistency creates connection, and connection reduces isolation. Then build a simple daily support rhythm. One of the hardest parts of postpartum life is how unpredictable every day can feel. You don't always know when your baby will sleep, how the day will go, when you'll get a break. Because what I've learned is as soon as they get into a rhythm and you're starting to get into that rhythm with them, the baby changes it. And that unpredictability can increase feelings of overwhelm and anxiety. But here's something powerful. Even one small, consistent support moment each day can make a big difference. Because when you know relief is coming, even in a small way, it helps your nervous system relax. Let's think about bedtime because that's such a great anchor. Maybe every night at a certain time, your partner takes over, you step away to shower, rest, or just have a moment alone. Or maybe it's a morning handoff so you can drink your coffee in peace. A set time when someone comes over to help, or even a predictable quiet moment during baby's nap. It doesn't have to be long, it just has to be reliable. Create one anchored support moment in your day. So, at 7 p.m., my partner takes over. That's what we do at our house. Or after lunch, I rest for 20 minutes. And build a loose rhythm around your day, not a strict schedule, but a gentle structure. Wake up, feed, rest, eat, step outside, reset. This gives your day a sense of flow without pressure. You're not trying to control the day, you're creating small pockets of stability within it. Let go of doing it all yourself. This one runs deep for so many moms, especially me. There's often an unspoken pressure to handle everything, to be capable, and to prove you can do it all. And sometimes it sounds like, I should be able to manage this. Other moms do this without help. I don't want to seem like I can't handle it. But this mindset can quietly lead to burnout, emotional exhaustion, and worsening postpartum depression symptoms. Because the truth is, you were never meant to do this alone. You might have help available but feel hesitant to accept it. Saying no when someone offers to bring food, or taking the baby back quickly instead of resting, or trying to keep up with everything instead of letting things go. And while it may feel like strength in the moment, it often leads to deeper exhaustion later. So here's what helps. Start by reframing support. Support is not optional, it's necessary. And accepting help is not weakness, it's wisdom, mama. Then practice one small step. The next time someone offers help, say yes. Even if, like me, it feels uncomfortable, and even if, like me, it's not exactly how you would do it. So an example, you could just say yes, that would actually help so much. Or yes, I could really use that today. You don't have to do it all to be a good mom. In fact, allowing support often makes you more present, more rested, and more connected. So let's bring this all together. Make a simple list of needs so you're ready when someone asks how to help. Identify 1 to 2 safe people and create regular check-in times with them. Build one daily support moment you can count on, like your partner taking over at a set time. And the next time help is offered, say yes. And I also want to gently remind you, seeking professional support early can give you tools that even the most loving friends and family can't always provide. If you think you might be struggling with postpartum depression, start with just one step. Mention it to your OB, talk to your baby's pediatrician, or reach out to your primary care provider. You don't have to have all the answers, you just have to start the conversation. Support doesn't always show up automatically, but it can be built one small step at a time. You were never meant to do this alone. There is hope, and I am living proof of that. Remember, Mama, if today's episode was triggering for you and you feel you need additional help to process your thoughts or feelings, please call or text the Postpartum Support International hotline at 1-800-944-4773. You can also find their contact information in the show notes for each of my episodes and on their website by going to postpartum.net.
Hi, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of my mom's show.
If so, would you take 30 seconds and share it with a mom friend who may be struggling to feel like herself and is in need of some encouragement today?
Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. It blesses my mom's heart to know this podcast is helping you.
Okay, time to go change a diaper and do the school run. I'll meet you back in a few days for another episode.
Take care.